What's going on, guys? This is Danny from Slow Restoration. We have a 2008 G35 Infinity. We're going to be installing this DC sports intake system. Very first thing, we also are doing an oil change, but the very first thing I see is there's two air boxes. So we have two air boxes, two mass airflow sensors, two throttle bodies. So let's open this box up and see what we have inside. Oh, we have two intake tubes. Looks like two filters, so we might be on the right track so far. So we have kind of a silvery aluminum looking finish on them. The pipes, not terrible. Feels like it's aluminum. It's a cone filter. Get off there. It's a black crinkle finish on the end of it. Decent looking. They appear to be washable, reusable. Of course, we have two of them. It's pretty small for this car, but you gotta remember we do have two. So let's get the rest of this unboxed and get it installed. All right, before we pull this apart, let's do a sound comparison and see if we can hear any sound difference between the stock air boxes, stock air filters, and the aftermarket. Pretty quiet up here. We'll let it warm up a minute and then give it a couple revs. We'll listen to it in the back too. This car does have an exhaust on it that we just finished up. You can check out my other videos, but I doubt it's going to change the sound back here drastically, but it's warmed up now, so let's give it a couple revs. Seems pretty straightforward so far. Little squeeze tab. First thing we're going to do is get rid of this old system. Little squeeze tab here. We'll pull that off. There's a clip here, a 10mm bolt here, a clamp up here, and a hose here. So let's get that dismantled. Same with this side. We'll pull this all apart, get this old stuff out of the way. Make this a little quicker. They do recommend removing the engine cover, so we'll take these out. We have to remove that clamp off our PCV system, and it looks like someone, well, it might have been from factory, but that clamp is upside down. So having a pair of these 90-degree needle nose will come in handy. We'll just reach under, pull that spring clip, and slide this tube off. These air boxes are pretty easy to remove. They are clipped down in there, so once you pop them loose, they just kind of lift out. Same with this side. So now we're wide open. We will need the mass airflow sensors off these for the new system. This kit does come with pretty detailed directions. You can just kind of follow them. But next we're going to take our silicone couplers, slide them on the throttle bodies. Reach inside and pop that over. There we go. Make sure that's all the way on. We'll rotate that DC Sport so it's easily visible. We'll do the same thing with the other side and put a clamp on here and tighten that down just on the throttle body side. Next we'll remove the mass airflow sensors. It seems to be a 7mm socket. They only go on one way. We'll set this down. As you can see, those bolts line up there. If we actually put it in the other way, our bolts do not line up, so it's kind of fail-proof there. It does come with new hardware for the mass airflow sensors, and it's a 3mm Allen wrench to tighten those up. There is a seal on the bottom of these sensors. With those installed, we're actually ready to install these. There is a left and a right. As you can see, they are different. The right hand side actually has kind of a 90-degree bracket. The left hand side, or the driver's side, has a straight bracket on it. So on the passenger side, it's pretty easy. They come with these vibration dampeners. We're just going to slip that over the end of this open end bracket and in the hole that's already there in the motor. So that'll slip right in as soon as we get it lined up. It does come with a nut and a washer for the bottom, and of course a nut and a washer for the top. We'll get that snugged up. Now on the driver's side, we have the same isolator. Let's get it out of the way so we can see. And there is a grounding strap. Actually, by the way, this relay box just unclips. There's a little clip right here. You pull and that slips right up. You can get that out of your way. So there's two ground straps here. This isolator is going to go in the hole of the one. With those mounted securely, we're going to plug our harnesses back into our mass airflow sensor on either side. I do notice one problem. These silicone rubber hoses are supposed to connect this to this, and as you can see, that doesn't line up. Same way with this side. That's actually further off. So, I mean, these do move around. This one goes right into the valve cover, but we can pivot that and probably get that hose on. This one is actually bolted here, so I think we'll probably end up having to pull that off, hook the hose up, and see if we can secure that in another fashion. All right, with this side, it wasn't too much of a problem. We just rotated that around, and it's just a little zigzag here in the hose. This one, actually, we had to go straight, but we did have to pop this little canister out of its holder. No big deal. It's gonna stay there, no problem. So, last thing we need to do, besides install the engine cover, is put our filters on. Got this side slid on and this side slid on. I always like to try and make it look as neat and clean as possible. So, you know, we put the DC Sport up so you can see it, and put the clamps nice and uniform in the same location, easy to access when you need to change your filter. With the engine cover back on, that completes this installation. They do give you these little badges you can stick on wherever you want to. We stuck ours on there and there. Looks good. It's a nice clean look. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure it's a cold air kit so much, but it's definitely a higher flowing than stock. All right, guys, let's start this thing up and see what difference it makes for sound. I'm guessing it's going to be a lot more sound up front than in the back, but we'll see. I can definitely hear a difference. I'm not sure how you'll hear that on the GoPro or not, but it's going to make a huge difference out the exhaust, more up front, but should flow more air. You can definitely hear a difference. It's pretty much the initial hit of that throttle. As you go down the road, should on light throttle, and as you hit the gas, you should be able to hear a little bit. See how it sounds, if any difference out of the back. All right, guys, like I said, you're not going to hear a whole lot, especially on the GoPro, the difference out of the exhaust side, the back of it. Up front, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to hear that difference. But anyway, we did the air intake, we did the exhaust. Now we're getting ready to do the drilled and slotted rotors. So tune back in for more G35 mods. Thank you. Have a good day.